What up, what up?
Howdy freaking doody.
So, I've traded not guest hosts this week. We should probably give a big old congrats to Mark, who, as of this morning, is a father of two beautiful young boys. So he will be out for an unforeseen amount of time. But congratulations to him and his lovely wife, Kelly.
Big shout out, yeah.
Great news. Everybody's happy, healthy, good stuff. So,
Waiting
glad
on
to
a
hear
name
that.
still. Waiting on a name still. And yes, very happy to hear that.
I've never been able to understand. Like, I personally don't think that I could go into like a labor situation not knowing whether it was a boy or a girl. Like, I want to know that immediately.
That's what they did? They did the surprise?
They did for both of their kids.
Oh wow.
I'm impressed at the patience. And Kelly was telling us she had some tests done. You know, they do all that kind of stuff, and she's a nurse. She mentioned that, you know, she got reports back, and somewhere in there, like, she knew that it was a potential mistake in there, that somebody would like let it slip, like, hey, it's a boy or it's a girl. So she made some of her nurse friends go look at it first, and then sure enough, there it was. So smart on her part. She's safe to say much smarter than Mark, right?
1,000% guaranteed.
Great. Okay.
Wasn't even a question.
Welcome everybody to episode 293 of the Chumpcast. I'm your host Smithers, again with my friend Brick here. Glad to see you're feeling better.
Oh yeah, I had a little bit of the sniffles last week. Just couldn't. I was coughing every 2 minutes. It was literally a full nightmare.
But not the Rona.
Not the Rona. So yeah, just regular flu symptoms. But it was literally just like the most minor congestion that was like
just annoying, just enough to like piss you off.
Yeah, and like it would have been a nightmare situation to record anyway, just because I'd be coughing every 3 minutes. This time around, it'll be every 7 minutes because I'm not fully over it, but we'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear.
I appreciate the longer reprieve. I did want to mention one thing. Rest in peace to the iPod. What was your first iPod like, Brick?
I'm trying to remember. It definitely was the one that had the screen. It was not the Nano, but there was nothing better than updating your playlist and getting new songs added on there and being just jamming out. You can just do it from your phone now, but
I remember it being the death of my very lucrative CD burning career.
Oh yeah,
because I would sell those in high school and middle school before everybody else figured out how to like write and burn CDs.
Which was everybody at that point, but yeah.
Yeah.
You were the Napster guy?
I was, dude, and then the LimeWire guy, and then the Pirate Bay guy, and whatever else. But I'm out of that business now. I think the statute of limitations is up, I hope. Please don't sue me, NSYNC. But yeah.
Allegedly. This was all allegedly, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
Allegedly
this is,
you sold CDs.
Of course.
The
IRS you can't prove anything.
Yeah, exactly. The IRS isn't going to come after you for your $7 that you made burning CDs.
I do remember my first one. It was a mini, not a nano, so it had the screen, and it had more storage in it than I could ever want anyways, right? But I just remember like having to learn the scroll wheel and playing Snake on it and everything. Man, it makes me feel so fucking old.
Yeah, technology's come a long way since then.
Yeah, like the first ones had the like the e-ink screen, not like they weren't even color. You remember what a big deal it was when the iPod Color came out?
Yeah,
and the iPod Touch.
The iPod Color came out, and they were like had that commercial dancing with like the headphones in. Remember what I'm talking about, or no?
Yes, absolutely. Just the silhouettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I was kind of surprised they were still making these. Why the hell are they still making iPods?
Who wants to carry another thing around? Absolutely nobody. So,
I don't get it. Like, the only reason I would ever have one is if I had it and it was like 10 years old.
Right. There's no reason to ever get a new one. That's why they're stopping, obviously. It's just it's so weird, the microcosm of like technology that was like, oh, this is so sick. This is never going to go away. Immediately, 10 years later. So,
Stay woke. Because I think what's going to happen here is they're going to take it off the market for a couple of years. Then they'll come back and be like, nostalgia. And then they'll just try and sell you another iPod. Because Apple's evil like that. It is funny that they're moving. So I don't know if you follow this or what, but I've always hated Apple because they make you buy all these cables and adapters and shit. And recent rulings in the European Union are making them go to using USB-C as a charger. So they won't have a proprietary charger. It'll be like the same thing that everybody uses now. All of the laptops I've had, my phones, everything else uses USB-C. So
Everything.
fuck you, Apple.
Switch. Yeah, no. The little tip at the end there. They love getting that extra moolah out of you.
And that stupid cable crimp that always breaks, it does nothing.
Zilch.
Yeah. Still better than the old 30-pin adapters, though. Those were huge. But anyways.
Yeah. Showing your age there. I don't even know what that one was.
Okay. Well, you know what? We've bullshit enough. Let's just get right into our trailers, man. We got a lot this week, so let's get through it.
News to us.
So, I sent you a long list, and we will start with a few TV shows here. Are you in on Kobra Kai? It was Mark that was out on it, right?
No, I thought we were all in on Kobra Kai because Kobra Kai was fucking. They've showed that you love to hate to love.
I thought so too, and then I mentioned it to him last week, and he said I gave up in like season 2.
What?
And I get it. I mean, it is kind of the same thing over and over again, but we did get the announcement trailer for Kobra Kai season 5 coming this September. I mean, it's karate. Who doesn't love karate?
Karate in the Valley, and the Valley is getting taken over by Kobra Kai. Spoilers.
Quiet. Dude,
What? There's nothing better than that. I saw in the one thing that I saw in the trailer was Johnny Lawrence was wearing an FBI shirt, which is female booby inspector.
That's incredible.
He's just so
Jesus.
stupid. He's just
That's what's
so
great
out of
about him.
touch with
Like
time.
he's far and away the best character in that show. He's
Yeah.
the only reason to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't care about
just
the
rooting
kids.
for it.
I just want this dirtbag who drinks fucking banquet beers and just is a dirtbag.
Who just found out about the internet and just like hot babes, like he's just the classic 80s doofus, like macho man that just like sticks to the role. It's just so he's the underdog, but he's like, I don't know, you're just rooting for him.
It's because he's got a good character arc.
Yeah, and you also just want stupid ass Danny LaRosa and Lawrence to just like team up because they have so much in common, but then they always just butt heads. It's just like it's so obvious, but it's just so likable. I don't know why. I love like the character dynamics they have in that show. It's so cheesy and perfect though.
And it's a throwaway show. Like, you don't need to know anything. You could probably just step right into season 5. There's a karate tournament in the valley.
Exactly. You figure out they'll do
caught
flashbacks if you're really lost. Yeah.
All right. You never watched The Orville, though, did you?
I've seen like 2 episodes where Seth MacFarlane's trying to hit that blonde chick, and then they're just like, no. I ain't about that.
Yeah, that's pretty much
great.
every episode. It's just satire Star Trek. And I like it. Seth, as you mentioned, Seth MacFarlane, writer, creator, star. This is coming back in June. Would you be surprised that I told you Erica loves this show?
A little bit.
My
Yeah,
wife, who's not into
that's
sci-fi
random.
in any way, shape, or form.
Unless
has-
it's Disney.
Yeah, it's very strange, but she's into it.
Are you into it? Where do you rate this show?
It's about on the level with Kobra Kai. You can throw it away. There's no, I mean, there is an overarching plot, but it doesn't really matter. Like, there's some background that you would get on Seth MacFarlane's character. Like, they did have a love interest and all that stuff, but it doesn't matter. It's just like the same premises from Star Trek or whatever else. You know, you visit a planet, you can't contact them if they're not technologically advanced. It's same thing. They just made it funny. It's such a simple idea that works.
Cobra Kai or The Orville? What's better?
Kobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not
Okay.
any karate in the Orville, so
Right. Not
there are
much
funny
karate.
aliens and robots, though. That's cool.
What show's funnier, actually? Let me ask you that.
Probably the Orville.
Really?
Just-
Cobra Kai
I mean-
has its moments, though.
Yeah, but
Like
Seth
with-
MacFarlane is kind
Right.
of a comedy genius.
That's true. So,
So they aren't able to do that cheap Family Guy thing where they're like, well, this is like that time that blah 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 happened, and they do a smash cut to whatever that is.
do they do that in The Orville?
No, they can't.
Oh, okay.
That's what's great because it's live action. So
Right.
I don't know how we talk about season 4 of Westworld because I gave up midway through season 3.
You didn't finish it?
It was bad.
I remember them being in the city and then Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, yes. I knew you were going to say that.
And there's nothing else that I remember about the story. The only thing I liked it, but I felt like there wasn't. The best part about Westworld was the intrigue in season 1 was figuring out what's beyond Westworld or something like that, and then the endless possibilities. And then they get to the future world, and the future world just wasn't as interesting as what I wanted it to be more. I don't know about more fleshed out, but like just different.
Go back to the parks, man. Give me some dinosaurs or something. Give me some ancient history. That's what I loved about that show.
I felt like the last city, the future city that they're in, should have been the last thing that they've been. That should have been like the series finale, and the parks should have been figuring it out longer than, I don't know. There's just 3 parks.
I mean, we saw 3.
Right.
What if it turns out that this city that they're in now is a park and it's like a simulation thing? Because they went through the like Dolores goes through the self-realization of, hey, I'm a robot. So they could, in theory, do that everywhere. But it probably wouldn't make much sense. I'm just talking out my ass.
A dream within a dream, yeah. Basically. Okay.
So Aaron Paul is returning from Breaking Bad, and we see Ed Harris in there, obviously Evan Rachel Wood. A lot of characters that maybe once thought dead or left for dead that are now coming back, which I'm here for. Hopefully that's not just like flashback bullshit, but...
Or just like a mirage of what, like, you see a bunch of people and you just like see Ed Harris, or just like through a mirage of people and he's just like gone, like in your head.
Yeah, I don't want that shit.
No.
I think what I'll do is I'll read the Wikipedia on season 4 and then just dive into this, or season 3, and see if like this is interesting at all. And if it isn't, I'll just...
It catches fire,
peace.
yeah.
This is still Sunday night HBO though, right? Like, shouldn't this be better?
Because HBO's been killing it with shows lately too, I feel. I've been really liking their content.
Dude, Barry came back. Show's incredible.
I'm gonna start Barry again, honestly, soon.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, the finale of Winning Time was also great too. I love that whole show. Was freaking awesome.
I have not caught the finale yet. Do you think they're gonna try and do another season?
I would hope so. Yeah, they should. It didn't seem like it was a season. It didn't seem like it was a series finale. It didn't say limited series either. I would want them to come back and do more.
Yeah, I guess it depends on. So that was based on a book someone wrote. I don't really know. I haven't read it, so I don't really know what the timeline of the story is. But I mean, Adam McKay can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah,
he's basically got carte blanche from anybody.
It opens up in 1991 where he gets diagnosed, and it just like shows a picture of Jordan and shit, which would be great if they can introduce a Jordan character into that.
Oh man, who do you get to play Michael Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan.
He's way too jacked. Yeah. Michael Jordan in the 80s was like a little skinny punk.
Right. And all I know is they did a fantastic job casting that too, because the way that they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Irving was like spot on. I thought they were great.
The guy who plays Jerry West is incredible.
Oh, Jerry West was fantastic.
Even Adrian Brody, dude. Man, that show is so well done.
It's awesome. I'm surprised you haven't finished the season.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. All right. Take a deep breath. Get the sigh out. Get the eye rolls out. And let's talk about Avatar.
You start.
I just don't like James Cameron at all. This self-aggrandizing, like, big... So here's the one-liner. Set more than a decade after the events of the first film, this is the story of the Sully family, the people we saw in the last one, and the trouble that follows them, the lengths they go to keep each other safe, blah, blah, blah. This is a nothing synopsis. And I'm pretty sure that this is just going to be a nothing movie where it's like, look at the special effects, and there's no plot. But at the end, everybody's like, wow, look at the special effects. And that's it. I think that's all this has to offer.
But I think it transports you into the universe well. And I love the way that they did the trailer, because it's just like 3 notes playing over and over again with like some singing in the background, very like, but it just like shows you the great landscapes. And I think you're right. It is going to be something along that. It's just going to be like, oh, someone's trying to take over the water lands, and now, so there's different water people that we gotta, gain their trust, and then we're gonna fight against the evil people, and it's just going to be that for the next 5 movies. But
and it's only because James Cameron's got such a hard on for water.
yeah, no, it looks beautiful though. It looks stunning, and I love the music in the background for it too. And they didn't give anything away. You don't need to. It's just you're gonna get people back with just the hype anyway.
Can you remember a single line or major plot point from the first one?
Let's kill those blue fucks. No, I have no idea.
Exactly.
But it was 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago, wasn't it?
I mean, I can quote The Dark Knight Rises. How many Bane lines can you quote? Good movies stick with you like that.
Though? How many times have you seen it, though?
That's okay. That's fair. You get what I mean, though? There's no takeaway from it. It doesn't stick with you. It's just like, wow, that was pretty. Now I'm going to go on with my day.
Right. Fine, but that's what you go for, the visual spectacle for a movie. That's like the whole point of it. I mean, besides, I guess you can say wanting to hear a story, a well-told story. But a lot of it's visual effects. If you can get something stunning to watch, I'm here for it.
Okay, that's fair. Let's pivot back to another TV show, actually, because Resident Evil kind of looks decent.
It's a TV show?
Yeah, it's a Netflix show. So you'll get them all at once, but I believe this is 8 episodes. Okay. So we open in this perfect community, obviously run by Umbrella Corporation.
New Raccoon City.
Exactly. And then before you know it, it's 11 years later, excuse me, and there's zombies everywhere, and that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, no, exactly, I guess. Is this going to be the same chronological universe as all the other ones, or
I can't describe to you the chronological universe of the other ones because I have no fucking idea. I can't track the video games either because they jump back and forward in time. I have no idea what's going on. I don't care. I'm just going to go into this as if it's a standalone that isn't connected to anything else. I think that's probably the best way for me personally to enjoy it.
Well, do they have any of the same actors in the previous movies, or because I know
I didn't see Mila Jovovich or anything like that, so I don't think so. I think this is just a new story, which is good. You shouldn't have to be tied to something. There's zombies, just run with it.
Oh, exactly. Just get the IP enough to lure the people in. But how much of that is just burned, and is it better to just tell a new, zombie story? Because someone who plays the games like Wilpo doesn't even bother seeing the movies. So it's
that's kind of what I'm seeing about Halo too. This week's episode, and I know we should probably save this for recommendation, but I don't care. Master Chief gets laid, and the think pieces that were written by these fucking dorks who need to go outside and touch grass is, I mean, it's unbelievable that anybody would be upset about this at all.
Oh, I didn't bang her with the energy sword.
Master Chief doesn't need to fuck.
Yeah.
He just wants to kill. Yeah, that's very dumb. Yeah, I've cooled off on that show a little bit. I was real hyped for a little while there while Master Chief was doing some actual murdering, and now that he's into the boning stuff, it's not as interesting.
A love interest in Halo. He's been so robotic and through all of the games ever. I guess.
Yeah. I don't think that works as a TV show, though. You can't have something that because they have. So he takes out his inhibitor chip that's in his spine that inhibits his emotions, and one of the other Spartans does too. But the other 2 Spartans keep theirs, and I watch them. I'm like, wow, you guys are boring as fuck. I want to watch the other stuff. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, no, that has to. Nobody wants to watch a robot on there.
Seriously. All right, last trailer. I only put this on here because I was waiting for Mark to come tell me how incredible this movie looks because it's an A24 film. This is called Men, and I don't have any fucking idea what's going on here other than man bad, no man.
Yeah, and it's just the same guy over and over again in this small town, I guess. And he's just always watching. It's just kind of always a creepy, the same guy in different costumes quietly. So it's am I insane, or does this guy just have this whole town, or is this all a town full of this one guy who just like fucked everybody in the town and just made all these weird versions of himself? I don't know.
At one point in the trailer, a priest blames her for her husband committing suicide, and I was like, God damn. Like, I know this is a movie, but wow. That's, yeesh.
Weird people in small towns is what, like, I don't know. It's like one weird secluded town. Where's it supposed to take place? Do we know?
London. I mean, it's got to be somewhere in England, just based on the landscapes and the accents and everything. But
right.
I feel like I have to give it a little bit of credit because this is the same director from Ex Machina and Annihilation, which were two really good movies. I just don't know if I can get on board with the premise. Do you have any urge to see this?
Not particularly. What was the last good film that A24 like we were like loving? Is that still Upgrade?
The Lighthouse?
Oh, that was A24?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I liked that. I mean, it was definitely like weird, but
absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't see the Lamb movie or anything like that, but I do still kind of want to. I'm just, man, they really just find the weirdest shit to make into movies, and that's their niche. And I'm glad that somebody does it because every now and then you'll get one that sticks to the wall, but most of these I can just skip.
Yeah. Midsummer, your favorite movie of all time.
Don't get me started, man. I fucking hated that movie. And everybody on the internet still tells me that I'm wrong about it, and I'm not wrong. It's just bad.
But that's fun.
Anyways, let's move on. I've got one bit of news for you. It seems like this might be a shorter episode because we're kind of flying through this. But one bit of news here. Did you see that Christopher Walken is going to be a main character in the next Dune movie?
Christopher Walken, eh?
He's going to play Emperor Shaddam, which means absolutely nothing to me. I've never read these books. I hadn't even seen the original. I did see the first one of these, and it was indeed half of a movie. So I guess this is cool. I don't know. What did you think about Dune?
Yeah, Dune was a pure setup movie. It felt like
half story.
Yeah, no,
that's what everybody does now.
Yeah, that's huge. Is literally ending on the biggest cliffhanger of all time to get more people to watch the next season.
Yeah,
and then having a mediocre third season to set things back up again. I don't know enough to talk about him. I'm sure cool, happy to see that Christopher Walken's back as like this could be a main role.
Well, you liked him in Severance, right? I mean, he
was great in Severance.
He was really good in that. He plays a very strange role, and I think he's good at just being outwardly weird, which perfect for the Dune universe because nothing is weirder than that shit.
Right.
We're gonna mine spice, and there's sandworms. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of drugs do you think that guy was doing when he wrote that?
Definitely something in the desert.
That's for sure psychedelics, maybe?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because weed doesn't make you that creative. Weed just makes you want to relax.
Yeah, I guess let's figure that one out right now.
Maybe he did some heroin. I don't know.
Maybe we did a combo drug.
All right. I'm going to play a drop, and we're going to do our recommendations break.
Booyah.
Here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
Lay it on me, bud. You got a couple weeks worth of stuff.
Let's see. What in the hell have I been watching besides Winning Time? It was great. I talked about that earlier.
What you been gaming on?
Rubber Bandits, which I think we should start streaming soon. We don't know how busy Mark's going to be for the next long time.
Yeah.
But it's basically just like a little weird party game. It's free if you have the Xbox PC Game Pass. You're just running around. It's a 4-player mini game series, I guess, where you're just like robbing banks and each other at the same time. So at some points you got to be collaborative. At some points you got to just be like all man playing for themselves. It's funny. It's weird, goofy controls, but like it's the simplicity behind it makes it like fun and entertaining. Rubber Bandits.
That's you find these weird games. This is kind of like in the similar vein as Overcooked or Moving Out or whatever.
Kinda, yeah.
What do you just call these party games?
I guess so. I just literally looked at Xbox Game Pass or the PC Game Pass. put a filter on for online multiplayer, and then just this weird ass picture came up. I was like, "Whoa, I wonder what this is." And I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, interesting little concept."
Still waiting for genital jousting to hit Xbox Game Pass.
Oh yeah, big genital jousting guy.
You have got to be one of the best spokesmen for the Game Pass because I don't think anybody speaks its praises more than you do.
Yeah, well, Bill is officially a computer owner now. He got his computer up and running, so he just started. I was like, get the Xbox Game Pass and play around with some games just to start out. You don't know, kind of just want to explore the game kingdom that you have when you get a new PC.
I feel like I'm overwhelmed when I log into that, though.
Yeah,
Like, there's too much to choose from, and I always just go back to the things that it's kind of like Netflix. You scroll through it for an hour, and you end up watching the same show you've watched 100 times before, anyways.
yeah, that's usually the key is to find somebody to play it with you. Just like, hey, you want to try this game? I was like in a party watching Wilpo play this Rune game where he's just like kind of running around. It's a platformer. It looked pretty fun, but he got sick of that, and I was like, oh, let's try this game. And he's like, oh, I think we had played that once. And then we just got Krisky involved, and then all three of us were playing with just fun, stupid, keep yourself entertained, laugh at your friends, make fun of your friends, and talk shit. It's great.
And it's a really good idea. I mean, how many times have you bought a game for $60, brought it home, and just immediately were like, this game fucking sucks?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't done that since like when I was 12. Because now there's so many reviews out, and you kind of see gameplay of everything. And
the last game I did that with was the Square Enix Avengers game. That game sucked.
Oh fuck yeah! I did do that too. To be fair.
Yeah. So, I hopped on earlier with you and Wilpo. Was that your first run at Back 4 Blood?
We played that. There was like a demo out. It was like free to play that we got access to. That was just that level basically. But it was, it's fun. It's cleaner and crisper, I feel, now that the full game's actually out. But that is also on Game Pass, Back 4 Blood, which is basically Left 4 Dead.
Same developers, too.
Right. So, did you start downloading that or what?
I will once we hop off here. I don't want to kill the stream.
Good call.
How would you feel if I told you I was rewatching Seinfeld? Because that's
I do that
honestly
all the
what
time.
I'm taking in right now. Did you see the picture of Putty that I posted in the sports server the other day?
No, was it his hockey face?
Yes, he's at a game.
Absolutely.
He's at a Jersey Devils game, and he's
now.
No, well,
Oh no! Obviously, when you posted,
it was it was an updated picture. So
I love Putty for that. He does that all the time. Every time they're in the playoffs, there's always a picture that surfaces of him doing the devil face.
And isn't it so great that you find somebody who's actually funny and leans into it and doesn't suck?
Patrick Warburton is underrated as hell.
He's got probably one of the most recognizable voices. Like, nobody would know his name unless you're a super Seinfeld nerd like you, or like if you follow it.
I'm also a huge Kronk fan from Emperor's New Groove, which is just one of the best characters of all time. And I love Kronk. He's so good.
Yeah, incredible stuff. I don't know why this made me think of this, but my kid loves Despicable Me, and I was watching an old interview where basically they just made Steve Carell. They made him do Michael Scott lines in his Gru voice, and I love seeing that, like, the behind the scenes of a voice actor when they do the dumb voices and shit. That's always so interesting to me. So that was a
it's great how they can just
when you
turn
hear
it
Gru
on.
saying that's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah, where did you find that? Because I want to see that.
I'll send you a copy of it. It was on Instagram, I think. But so that's what I've been watching. And actually, I'm probably going to get into Back 4 Blood because I'm getting my surgery done tomorrow, and I'm probably going to be incapacitated for about a week. So let's game.
Perfect. That's
Maybe I
game.
can stream it. Although I won't be able to show my face because, well, I'll probably
When
just
I watched
randomly
in
get a
2015.
nosebleed. Nobody wants to see my face anyways.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
All right, we got to make a decision on the fly here. Do you want to do a draft?
Without Mark here, I didn't really prepare either.
Okay, well, fuck it. Let's just burn this one anyways, and we'll just kind of we'll talk about this as if we were picking the worst TV moms, because that's what we were gonna do.
Fine. Let's do it. I'm down to just do a draft, me versus you. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Let me. Oh shit, I don't have that ready. Yeah, sure we do. You're just a little weird right now. Let me rearrange the screen here.
You got it.
So we are going to draft the worst TV moms, and this is in honor of Laura Linney, who on Ozark is excellent. She's a great character. She's extremely hateable, in order to do that, you have to be an incredible actress, and she is that. So I think this is a good topic to go in it, and it's one that we talk about quite a bit, and we typically always go back to, you know what, I won't burn any of those. Before we get into this draft, though, I did win the last one, which was Ultimate Party Team, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised you got that one.
Well, all you got to do is pick the billionaires, man. The billionaires throw the best parties. There's nobody on the planet that you would rather party with than Tony Stark. I can guarantee you that.
I tried to even get the worst pictures for him too. He looked like such a douche in that, like Iron Man 2 when he's at like the New Year's party. Like the super trimmed beard, ultra douche.
I just love that you're openly admitting to cheating now. You're just like trying to influence people on shit.
No one even looks at the pictures anyway. It's all about the Twitter poll, the way you worded on that one anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. But okay, so I will just let you go first, I guess, and we'll just go back and forth, and we'll pick 4 of them. So worst TV moms. Who's your 1-1 overall?
Oh my god, I don't know how I can't do it, but I'll go Cersei Lannister. She is
man, you fooled me with this. I thought you were gonna go Skylar White.
I know. I was gonna go Skylar White, but I don't know. She like almost has like a reason to be like, I don't want my baby to be around this meth dealer, crazy crack. You know.
I mean, Cersei Lannister. I totally agree with you, but she did love her kids. She loved Tommen very much, and she tolerated Joffrey, who's the biggest piece of shit ever.
But she drove basically Tommen to walking off of his own death.
That is definitely true. That scene stuck with me too. Just like him casually stepping off that ledge window.
I feel like it went silent too. Like it just showed his face, and it was like just pure silence. And they do really good with the sound effects in Game of Thrones. I'm pumped for the new one to come out. As much as I'm trying not to be.
Okay, I'm gonna go with, for my first pick, Leanne Cartman, Cartman's mom for South Park, a literal crack whore. I'd like to see you beat that one.
That's going to be tough, yep.
I was catching up on, they show reruns of that every day on Comedy Central, so I just I caught the Jag-On episode the other day. So fucking stupid. I just love that show.
So good.
Should we just go like back and forth so we're not getting 2 in a row?
No, just do 2 in a row. It's fine.
Then I'm going to take Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. Just absolute, like, did you ever, maybe I'm telling on myself here, but when I was a kid and my mom was in a shitty mood, like, you dreaded her coming home from work. And I feel like that feeling is awful, and I feel as though if you were any of those children, that would just be constant for you. And it's not even because she's having a bad day. She's just a psycho.
Fair enough. So. Very fair enough. I am going to go with Wendy Byrde, just because honestly, I hated her relationship with Jonah and her other kid. Like, it just was so toxic, and it was just like so controlling. She was a fucking nightmare, which we'll get into later. I do
think that she starts to realize that she is an asshole, which is great. Like by the end of the show, but yeah, she doesn't do anything to change her ways, and is just a piece of shit. So yeah, totally agree.
Yes, and then I am gonna go with Skylar White, just because she's just a psycho, and I just think her face, she's just so annoying, and the character itself is just like, I hate
she had to make the list. Had to.
Yeah.
All right. How about this one? Lucille Bluth.
Oh yeah, duh. I'm pissed.
Who has absolutely ruined all of her children, although her children are also shitheads, except for Jason Bateman. This is going to be a very Jason Bateman heavy episode, isn't it? Yeah, so. She's got... I love this because they're characters that you love, like the ones that I'm drafting, but also that suck. Absolutely. Like, you have the characters that suck and you hate.
Exactly. So we have very different drafts.
Yeah, and I'm going to
will
round
say.
off my team. I want to get your take on this because there's a genre of TV mom that is like Estelle Costanza and
Mm-hmm.
Marie Barone from Everybody, where you're just like the overbearing mother who makes your child's life a living hell, even as they're an adult. So I'm going to take Estelle, who unfortunately I believe recently passed away, so rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace, but all-time character. And that
Oh, yeah.
voice, man, is just nails on a chalkboard. Holy shit.
Just absolutely piercing the brain.
Yeah, no question.
Frank!
All right, you got one
George!
more. You got to make it good.
Yep, this is gonna be a tough one to try and beat you on this one. I think I'm gonna go with Liva Soprano. Livia
That is
Soprano.
a very good one.
She is just such a piece of shit, and just like there's no redeeming quality that she has in the entire show.
She did put out a hit on her son, too, at one point. So, yeah, that's pretty hard to come back from, I think.
Oh yeah, that one's a tough one. So
See, that was good. I'm glad we did that. That was quick and dirty, and we're going to be in and out in under an hour in this total episode. So good job. Maybe we'll make a post about that, but we won't have a full-on vote as we normally do, unfortunately, since Mark is out. But I'm sure he'll be there to tell us how stupid we are for the picks that we made.
as is tradition.
All right, let's get into this review thing, baby.
You set it up.
All right, everybody knows what that fart means, and it is review time. So we had an interesting go of it with season 4 of Ozark, which will be our topic this week. I really don't like that these TV shows are splitting it into two pieces anymore. It makes it feel very disjointed and just harder to follow overall, and I'm still very upset that they're doing this with Stranger Things, but I don't know, maybe it'll be good enough that I won't mind. This, unfortunately, I don't feel was good enough for me to completely overlook that, but we'll get into that more later.
Is that more of a Netflix thing, or is that like a? Because you don't really see it on very many other platforms that do that. It seems like it's just Netflix.
It was a big thing for a long time for like AMC shows where you would get a mid-season finale, like The Walking Dead did it a bunch. I never understood. Like, I get you need to take a break for more production time and stuff like that, but this, you're just releasing it all at once. Just honestly, just sit on it and wait and release it when it's all done.
Well,
I don't.
for this specifically, I think they wanted to catch both award seasons in
That's
the
fucking
one
stupid,
show,
then.
which is like come on, because it aired after, I guess, all the nominations, so it's still eligible for next year's as well.
I guess that kind of makes sense. So I listen to Smartless, which is a podcast with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean. Shit, I can't remember his last name now. From Will and Grace, but he's always talking about like what's going on in Variety and stuff like that. So, man, that sucks. That sucks about Jason Bateman because I really like him, and I hope that he's not too focused on that. But also, he's won a ton of awards for Ozark, not only
Yes.
from like the creative side, but also as portraying Marty Byrde.
Right.
I did find this interesting note as well. Did you know that there is a Marty Byrde's restaurant at the Lake of the Ozarks?
Brilliant. Whoever did that. That's
Opened in 2018 and has such menu items as Ruth's Smoked Wings.
Ooh.
So
Probably
very
spicy,
interesting.
I would imagine.
Yeah, so let's just kind of set this up a little bit. If you've seen Ozark, you know it's basically about laundering money for a drug cartel. A series of increasingly poor decisions puts Marty and Wendy Byrde in a very shitty situation, involves their entire family, and eventually the entire small town of the Ozark, of this little area of the Ozarks, I suppose. The Ozarks is actually pretty big, but I think what we do is we just kind of give our overall reaction, and then we go full spoiler on it and just don't hold anything back.
Okay.
So give me your high-level thoughts and rate it.
So one thing I agree. I think splitting up the seasons did make it feel a little disjointed, and it felt like at the end of the part one, it was like everything was ramping up, and then it left on a cliffhanger, classic, just as everything has been doing
Of course.
as of late. But then the second half, it just felt like everything was rushed to a certain degree. I don't know. I just feel like every single decision that they made, every single thing had such a drastic impact on every. It just, I don't know, it just felt rushed to a certain degree, and they felt like they got rid of characters pretty quickly and just like wrapped them up.
I think they were too concerned with
Wow.
exactly what you just said, trying to wrap everything up in a neat little package to end the show. When you don't have to do that. I mean, look at some of the greatest shows of all time. The Sopranos absolutely didn't do that. You know, like you...
Breaking Bad.
Yes, absolutely. Totally agree. So at the end of the day, the show was more filler than anything else for me. And I have such a hard time getting behind these dumbass decisions, man. You're just like, fuck, how stupid are you?
I guess you got to think about how high pressure the stakes are and like the situations. Sometimes you're making those rash decisions just because of how fucking crazy deep you are into the drug cartel.
I guess.
I did like some of the directions that they went with the show, which I guess we can get into later.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of the score and the soundtrack?
Forgettable. The soundtrack was good just because when it was Ruth listening to Illmatic like all the way through, that was pretty incredible. Like, and the Killer Mike cameo, he shows up. That's pretty cool too. Other than that, nah. The setting has always been way too dark and blue for me. The background, Lake of the Ozarks is a beautiful place. Like, you don't need to mute all of the colors and everything and make it seem so dark and shitty all the time. So I don't get that, but it's a directorial decision. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, gotta keep it consistent, I guess.
So obviously you were a fan if you noticed it.
No, I just noticed it because I know you guys were talking about listening to that. What was it called again? Illmatic.
It's Illmatic from
Illmatic
Nas,
album.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is like intense, like rap that she's like going through a bunch of shit in her head.
Yeah, she's hardcore.
Yeah, she was hardcore, but then she like has a level head to a certain degree, but also she's just a loose cannon as well. Yeah, overall, I would say see it.
Okay. Can you tell me who is your favorite character?
It has to be Ruth, but I love Jason Bateman's character as well. Just he's so calm and collective and just has incredible composure, and he's just like so smart, but also like some of the shit that he gets into later is just like it's just impressive how he handles situations, that they show how he portrays himself handling it.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth is a psycho, and she's the best. She's like, like I said, loose cannon, but like smart to a certain degree, and
she's very smart. There's no doubt about that. She just has
like she's slick,
filthy sailor mouth.
Yeah, she's very slick about the way she like operates.
Sometimes she cussed so much that I just found it kind of cringy.
Let's just wish. Yeah, I don't know. I liked how much that was just her character, I feel.
It takes quite a bit for me to be like, wow, you swear a lot.
Yeah.
I think that by the end of the show, though, my favorite character was Jonah. Because he goes through a whole arc where he's basically becoming his own person. And, like, everything else be damned, I'm going to do this my way. And he gets a very cool moment at the very end that I won't spoil, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, though, I think that season 3 of this was probably the best season, and then this one kind of just fell flatter for me. If you've seen the first 3 seasons, you know you're going to finish this. But
right.
If I was going back to talk to prior me, I would just say save it. This is 44 episodes. That's 44 hours of this show. And for it to, for me at least, feel as though they didn't stick the landing, that's rough.
It's not that they didn't stick to the landing. I guess it stuck. The way they wrapped it up was fine for me. I wasn't like super like, oh, that was bullshit or blah blah blah. But it wasn't like a spectacular like, oh wow, how did that end just like that? That was crazy. It wasn't like that. It was just like, it was fine. It wasn't a botched ending, in my opinion.
I feel like, I won't ruin anything. We'll get into it more later, but I wasn't happy with it.
Okay, so you said save it. I said see it.
Yep. So I'm going to throw up this spoiler warning on the screen right now, just so we don't unintentionally ruin this for anybody who might be watching. So from here on out, we are going to go full spoilers. We're not holding anything back. You've been warned. So check the show notes if you want to skip forward. Let's go. I thought it was a wild choice for them to immediately kill who the big bad was in the first half of this season. So I like that they took a big swing with that. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like they replaced him with someone who was as news. Like, yeah. So I don't know. What did you think about that?
That's the part that I thought was rushed, because Javi was a very good villain.
Yeah.
And to just like, I get it, Ruth gets her revenge and they kind of set it up, but I don't know, I just felt unsatisfied with the way he just like got. But I guess that's the way, if you just shoot somebody and kill somebody, they're just kind of done. But like the repercussions, like there were, I mean, they talked about repercussions for killing Javi. He's like the guy who took over, you killed the guy at the head of the cartel.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone was just like, but I guess they kind of, there's a reason, there's justification that they were able to do that, but it just felt rushed.
I completely agree.
As much as they should have been.
I feel like it also makes the stakes feel not as high, because
they were under Javi's thumb the whole time. That was like
Exactly.
the whole point. That was like they were worried. They should have been worried, because he's a looser cannon than Ruth was.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
she's crazy.
So I don't think that replacing him with Omar as, you know, like the one giving the orders, I don't think that did this any favors.
No.
How did you feel about his sister, Omar's sister? I'm sorry, I'm looking for her name right now.
She was fine, and she was like an asset to them. And then they kind of they played both sides of the fence on that regard. But again, there was no real punishments.
Well,
involved.
I
guess
mean,
they kind of like,
she does get to get revenge for the death of her son.
how so again? Oh,
She killed Ruth.
She kills Ruth. I forgot.
That was hard to watch. I was really hoping that Ruth was going to make it out of this and go on to live a happy life. I mean, you don't have to. Like, she did plenty of terrible things too, so I get it. But I wanted to see something else out of that. That just feels like I don't want to say the easy way out, because it's not. It feels like they could have written something more complicated and justified for that character, who I believe by the end of the show, they're banking on you loving Ruth.
Absolutely, because she's the one who gets killed, and then Jason Bateman and Wendy Byrde get away with it.
Mm-hmm. And then you get poor Mel Saddam. Oh man, the ultimate private eye, who just had a little bit of a coke problem. Man, it's fine, but the ending. Let's talk about the very ending, because this ends on a black screen with a shotgun shell firing, presumably from Jonah. Mark asked the question when I talked to him about the finale, like, do you think there's any way that, that wasn't Jonah shooting Mel Saddam? But I don't see any way around it. I think that's pretty much the only thing you can take away from that.
Absolutely. I thought they literally showed him like cocking, aiming.
They do show him aiming, but the fact that they don't actually show him as the shot is fired is maybe supposed to conjure some mystery, but I don't see to what end. You know, like there's really only one thing that could have happened there.
Yeah, he made his choice. Family over everything, even after the shit that they've been through. But it's finally, it's over at that point. You kill this guy, it's over.
There's no way that they could just go on to live a normal life, though.
No. You're fucking scarred after everything that you went through, ruined so many people's lives.
How many people did they have to kill or get killed? Like dozens throughout this entire show.
Yeah, they ruined a ton of people's lives.
And then imagine, like, you just go back to Chicago and try and live a normal life and act like none of that ever happened, and your kids don't know that you're an actual murderer.
Yeah, you want to go to Federales, grab some drinks, throw a little shot glass at the bell thing? Sick.
Oh, shout out to Chance the Rapper. I saw a video of him there yesterday, and he hit it on the first shot. Slammed the tequila and donged it. So gotta respect that.
Hey, amen. And then how did Special Agent Maya Miller, what happened with her again?
I think nothing. Like, her career is probably ruined. She's been FBI blackballed. But,
Right.
I mean, if she was sort of romantically linked to Mel Saddam, like, again, you're just leaving all of these open threads, and you're never going to know what's happened. Would you watch a spinoff of this? Like, what would it even be?
No, I wouldn't watch a spinoff of this. This is fine. This has been encapsulated. They left it so that they're free and clear. What else would do they go back into?
I want to see Jonah in high school. Like, he gets beat up and picked on, but nobody knows that he put a shotgun shell through somebody's chest.
I don't think that he would allow himself to get bullied like that. He's
I
too
think you're
smart and witty, and he's actually kind of big too. He looked like he shot up about 2 feet from the beginning of the show to the end.
Always so weird when a kid goes through puberty mid-show.
Which is what we're about to see with this Stranger Things. I mean, we're watching Stranger Things the first season. We were watching the first 2 episodes yesterday just to get back into it because it's coming out at the end of the month. And It was just, those kids are so damn young in it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for that, though. That's I don't know if you could hear me talking. I hope that the mid-season break on that doesn't ruin it or stress the continuity. But man, I'm not having good feelings about that.
It's peak hype. Yeah. It's hard to close. It's hard to close the show down with like have everything worked out nicely or like leave a little bit of mystery to leave it open ended. I don't know. It's hard to close the show.
Yeah.
With that much hype.
There's one other character that I wanted to talk to you about and get your feelings on, and that is Wendy's dad, who
that's right.
I fucking despised. And that
yeah.
just means that the writing and the acting was good. Like, he did a good job playing the character. But what a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, big time piece of shit. And then using like the church and using like he's a good person and like manipulating that to try and get the kids to come with him. Even though, I mean, he's in the right to try and get these kids away from the situation
100%.
that they're in. But he's also just a drunk piece of shit, chauvinist, like
abuser. Yeah. Every bad thing. And I think this character lands so well because I think everybody knows somebody like this who like thinks that everything that they're doing is righteous and will hide behind the church, but is actually just being an asshole.
Absolutely. And I guess they needed to have somebody rival Wendy, I guess, because Wendy was not stepping down to anybody at that point, head of the cartel or not. Who fucking cares? She's doing whatever she's going to do. So to have her father be the one to kind of put her in check made sense. But he wasn't, the stakes, they weren't raised, in my opinion, with the dad there. I mean, they were to a certain degree, but it wasn't as high as if they had Javi lingering around, I feel.
Yeah. Because the dad's never going to physically harm anyone, right? And Javi doesn't care. He beat the shit out of his fucking college professor for no reason. 1 minute he's at dinner with the dude. The next minute he follows him to the bathroom and just beats the fuck out of him. That's the loose cannon bad guy that you want, not, the cold calculated whatever. I thought that was a big disservice to the stakes of the show.
It was like, I agree. The stakes completely changed because it was like, oh no, Charlotte's going to be gone in North Carolina for 6 months until she goes to college. Okay, so she's gone for 6 months. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, you can miss me with that character entirely.
Exactly. And then Jonah is like, okay, he's already living on his own to begin with. So it's like they were going to lose their kids, I guess, kind of. Not really, just for a certain, like a year maybe max. I don't know. Wendy's it just shows how crazy she was. And then her checking herself into like the psych ward.
Dude, ultimate power move to walk in there and be like, if you don't let me in here, I'm going to go kill my father.
Yeah.
Like, that's just putting your nuts on the table and throwing it all out there.
Oh, yeah. But then also just like biggest attention seeking thing of all time. Well, tell the kids I'm in here because otherwise there's no point of me being in here because like the kids need to know that I'm crazy.
Well, I think that's what I was going to ask you next is at any point did you think maybe she was having like a mental break? Because that much pressure and stress, like that could break anybody.
Right. But yes and no, but I felt like she was trying to just use it as a manipulation tool, just the way that she was going about it. It wasn't that she was stressed, obviously, but she was also just like, I need to get the attention that I need right now because this is the only way that I know how to get my kids to come back to me is to get the attention.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Does it make me a bad fan of Ozark to say that I completely forgot that Rachel character even existed?
No, I forgot too. It was just so long. I was like, who is this chick again?
So
like,
fucking forgettable.
I did eventually remember after like 10 minutes of being like, who the fuck is this person?
Mm-hmm.
And then it clicks. But yeah, no, that was fine. What did you think of the other character that was like the person who was supposed to be doing the transferring of the funds for like the main business that they were doing? Their other business partner, the lady.
I'm struggling to think of who you're talking about right now.
I'm trying to think of the name of the character. It's just like not this. They're not showing me the.
Sounds very, very memorable.
Yeah, no kidding. She was very mad.
Oh, you mean the drug CEO?
Yeah, the drug CEO.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
What's
she
her
was
name?
she was kind of a nothing character too, right?
Agreed. She was literally there to like move the plot around. I guess she didn't really do anything.
She does one very important thing, which is tell Javi's mom that Ruth killed him, and she is
That's
ultimately the reason that Ruth gets shot and killed. But she probably just existed eventually to do that.
Literally.
It is kind of interesting because she was the one on this, straight and narrow.
Claire Shaw.
Thank you. Yeah, so she was like, I mean, I don't know. You can argue about the head of a pharmaceutical company being a good guy or not, but she wasn't definitely in this world.
Yeah.
And the things that she just immediately is tossed into, like murders in her office, like that's fucked up. So I guess that's kind of an interesting plot point. And that is probably a good leading indicator as to why she would just immediately rat Ruth out, because I don't want to fucking die.
Yeah, this is pretty fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think there was good acting involved with the sister when she was threatening Claire Shaw, and like to a certain degree, it was like it was very tense situation that they conjured up there.
Did you find yourself missing Wyatt Langmore?
No, he was fine. They had shots of him in the series too. It was cool to see, I guess, like the way that Ruth was dealing with that loss and how she was trying to, cope with it, but also not lose her mind to like kill everybody, go on a killing rampage, because she's very capable of doing that too. So it was interesting in that regard, but I didn't really miss him by any means.
I found myself missing the crazy hillbilly opium grower that he was married to, because she was just an absolute wild card. She would come up at any point in time with a shotgun in her hand and just fucking shoot anybody for no reason.
I wish there was more of a boiling point between Darlene Snow and Javi, because that was like the part that made part 4 so interesting, was them starting to butt heads, and then the Byrdes getting in between there. There was just a fun character dynamic that like people were switching teams.
Yeah.
And people are getting like, is Darlene the worst of the situation that's going on, or is it the actual cartel in Mexico? And
the answer was usually Darlene.
Right, because she was just an absolute loose cannon. Like they got rid of both loose cannons in 2 episodes apart.
Well,
And
let me
they
ask you
needed to let
this.
that linger, I feel.
I posit that they probably don't do that if they don't take a mid-season break, because they don't need to leave you with that giant cliffhanger.
Right.
And I think that you probably save that for later in the season, and you let them have more time to shine, so to speak. They're freshly married, so like you add the tragedy to it, of course. But yeah, I thought that was rushed, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, just the way they left it off of that first part 4 for season 4. I mean, you just didn't know where the momentum was lost after that, to a certain degree, because it was like Ruth charged off. You're gonna have to fucking kill me, and it was just like whoa. And then it's such like a wow moment. Then they just like cruised into the second half of that season. It was just like it was a little bit lost. The momentum was lost for me.
I do love that this show has given us Julia Garner, who plays Ruth, because I think she's an incredible actress. I didn't watch the whatever identity theft show, whatever that
Her
she was in.
accent was like apparently spot on, but it was like the most annoying accent ever.
Oh,
So we
that's
just
rough.
stopped watching. It
I
was,
mean,
like,
her accent in
German
this is
and
like,
Russian.
ugh.
I don't know. Her accent is for the South.
It's accurate, but also it's very annoying.
Right. Yeah. But
Yeah,
you
I
should
get what you
hear
mean.
once you hear Inventing Anna's version, it's like very posh, but also like annoying as fuck. You'll don't watch it.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it too, I was going to ask you about the pastor guy that is Omar's, like, one of his right-hand men. That seems to be a really recurring theme of these super evil people just, like, leaning back on God and saying, like, this is okay because. So I kind of like that as a plot point.
Yeah, that's the purpose of the church. You get to go expunge all of your misdeeds if you just confess them.
Yeah, just tithe a little bit. Say 10 Hail Marys, you're good. All right, anything else you want to talk about on this? Because I'm pretty much tapped out. That's my full list.
I'm also tapped as well. It was good. I mean, again, see it. I would say see it.
Okay. Well, I think that's probably going to wrap up this episode. If you wouldn't mind, can you take a look and see what's coming next week while I do the propers?
Absolutely.
So this has been episode 293 of the Chumpcast. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, you can download, follow us on YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff. We're going to get back into some streaming, I promise. Hopefully you won't see me with a nosebleed this week. But if you want to get a hold of us, you can get us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. Let us know what you're thinking. If you liked Ozark or didn't, let us know. Brick, what do you got?
As of now, it is gonna be DC Super Pets. That's all I have for that right now. I have no
And you
idea.
know Mark's going to make us go see that.
Of course.
Fuck.
That or Men.
Yeah, I don't think we could
I'd
do
rather
it.
see Super Pets, honestly.
I think I probably would too. I wouldn't want to do an episode recap on that either. So,
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. Maybe there's something else hidden that's not just like in the forefront here.
you know, I kind of wanted to watch that. What was the one about the making of The Godfather that's on Paramount Plus? I don't know.
Oh, that's out?
Yeah, it's.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, it came out a couple weeks ago, I want to say, but maybe, or was that HBO Max? It's one of the two. Anyways, we'll figure it out. And I guess until next time,
Stop, motherfucker.
if I can find the outro.
Okay.
I can't find the outro. We're just going to be stuck here forever.
We're stuck here.
Son of a bitch. All right.
Maybe we'll be able to find the name of that movie.